It's funny you specifically ask about generative AI, because that's of course totally different than using AI for data and targeting. And I think generative AI is interesting throughout the entire pipeline still. So give a little insight on how we work in the concept phase and ramping up to production and production making. Generative AI can really help speed up processes. Think here about storyboard creation, mood board, concept art, even animated storyboards. This way you can much faster with generative imagery get your ideas across when talking to your client and brands. And that way you can also speed up the process of the creation, throw out bad ideas immediately, say goodbye to them and start making something new. So there it really ups the process in concepting and translating your ideas to images to eventually be created, maybe not with generative tools. And also in the output, it can be very interesting, creating worlds that are otherwise impossible to shoot. To go to the moon or undersea, to call out some usual suspects. Now for even smaller budgets, tight deadlines, you can create exciting new worlds or beautiful output that normally would not even be considered for these type of projects. So it's playing a huge role, both behind the scenes, which should never make it to the screen, and on screen as well. Data infrastructure is a big differentiator between professionals working with these tools and the kid in the bedroom. I have to say the kid in the bedroom being great with AI is something to keep an eye on. They're so inventive and they really challenge us in the professional market to step up our game. So I always find it very interesting to look at them, and having to do with no props, no tools, no big studios, whatever, they are still very creative. So definitely keep an eye out on them. The thing is, they could not play in our field. I think that's simply because a lack of resources available to them, but also the fact that they don't work for brands. In your bedroom, it's fantastic to put a great-looking astronaut on a planet with a panda covered in glue and then put a soda bottle next to it. We, however, work with clients where there's things like product fidelity and safety and information around product launches, a code that shouldn't go out into the wide world. And companies like Media.Monks, with all our technologists, we can build custom models for the brands, both making sure that a beautiful car stays beautiful and not all of a sudden also has a leg of an elephant. And also all the data you use to create the concept, to create the output, we can safeguard that in a custom model, in a safe environment. That's something the kid in a bedroom cannot do. And of course, access to data. AI is not only using algorithms to generate output, it's actually the usage of data where you can become smart and show your ads to the people you want to see the ads and learn about from the data. And that's a whole different ball game, of course, cleaning up data, analyzing data, feeding your data back into your AI models to go really into deep machine learning for efficiencies and using the benefits out of it. And the kids in the bedroom, often very talented, but I think we will see quite a big gap between a talented bunch of people who make cool stuff and the real big talents, because we all have these tools now which supercharge creativity and your efficiencies. But I think it will only exponentially work for those who were already great art directors or illustrators or designers. They will be having a huge spike now in what they can make, and in the bedroom, beautiful little creators making great stuff, but not in a field where you can really make valuable output based on strategy, data, client needs, like we do. Well, it's the reality that streaming companies are cutting their budgets, so are many other big brands advertising on different platforms. But I think those who know how to make great use of AI can actually be the winners here in the long haul, or maybe even shorter term than we think, because AI really allows you to now, allows us all to make that promise of programmatic targeting come true, because you can really know more about your audience, their interest, create the content that is valuable to them, and then serve that on the platforms people are using your content. One big off-brand campaigns and then trying to make a whole year out of connection with your audience, that won't be the future. I think it's much more efficient to see where you want to have your always-on connection, what short little snippets connect with people. Just be smarter with the budget for that one-off, great, but in between, seek for those little connection moments. And what you see nowadays, and research has shown, even when watching big sports games, let's take basketball, people still, like a lot of them, have a second device where they're also watching content on simultaneously. It could be their favorite player on the screen, and they will also scroll to their socials, connect with their friends. And I actually think there's great ways to then also surface their need for valuable content simultaneously there. And we are now currently with big other partners working on this, where, for instance, knowing your audience, what they're interested for, little highlights that are really piquing your interest, those can be served on your mobile phone, on the desktop you're watching simultaneously. The big game we all see on the big screen, and then the content that piques your interest, that you've been looking for already, be it highlights of the biggest team, or maybe you're a sneaker freak and we show you all the sneakers, the moves, the plays on your device. So I think AI will actually allow us to make the best out of this cutting budget, but not only that, it forces us to rethink how we make content, which is a fantastic challenge, and will, I think, in the end come to more valuable content. All the feeds will be flooded with AI created content. Everyone can make it now. And what will stand out is the craft, the quality, and valuable content instead of just another video.